Hi everyone, welcome to No Violence Q&A. I'm Diego Lopez, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and MMA instructor. I've been making my no violence videos for a couple months now, and I really enjoy it, but I wanted a longer format to be able to dive deeper into some ideas and theories because I see some of the comments and look, it's hard to get a lot of information in 90 seconds. So I'm going to do a little Q&A. I might go backwards and answer some questions or comments that are in some no violence videos in the future. Who knows? I don't have a boss. I can do this however I want. Very few people are paying attention. So I did a Q&A today on Instagram. So I'm going to answer 3 questions and let's see how long that takes. So Andrew Bird, I'm assuming ANDRWBRD, asks very simply, what Andrew Bird asks, any advice for someone starting BJJ? Huge question. There's a lot of places I can go with this. First, don't be afraid to start wherever you are physically. A lot of people try and get in shape before they start doing jiu-jitsu, which is usually just a barrier so they don't have to start emotionally. Just start. Just walk into the gym. That is the hardest part about martial arts, is walking into the gym the first day. If you can do that, you're huge. You're golden. Just keep going. So number 1, just start. Number 2, I would say recognize what success is. Success is relative. You shouldn't walk into a jiu-jitsu gym or MMA gym and think you're going to do well. If you do, you'll be disappointed, and when you're disappointed, you're less likely to do that thing. So go in, and your success is just being in the room. First few months, your success is just being there, getting consistent, getting to know everyone, being polite. If you start rolling, just breathe. Breathe and be able to recognize what's happening. I don't mean you should be at a point that early on. They should be able to understand the positions and being like, oh, they're transitioning from half guard into side control. They're trying to pin my forearm to kimura. No, I just mean, oh, I'm on the bottom and they're sitting on my chest. That's interesting. This is uncomfortable. I wonder what I should. If you can have a dialogue early on, it's more likely you'll be able to apply techniques that you have drilled and also be able to recognize what's actually being done against you. You'll be surprised over time how much of the things you're good at are because they've been done to you a lot. So expose yourself to things in the role. But again, success is relative. Jiu-jitsu takes a long time. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost 15 years. I'm fine, okay? It takes a long time. So just relax, be in the room, enjoy the room, know everyone's name, be cool, be nice, be polite, but just be in the room. That's I think the best advice I can give you. Just start and understand that success is relative. Start small, little successes, learn how to breathe, learn how to relax in the role. Information will come. I like to kind of put the idea together where muscle tension is kind of like the aperture of your eye. The more tense your muscles are, the smaller the aperture gets, means the less information you're likely to actually take in. So relax the muscles, open the aperture, and be able to take in information. Hope that helps, Andrew. Let me know if you start doing jiu-jitsu. And if you do, I hope it's going well. Second question from Exomina. What's one defense/fight tactic every woman should know? This is tough. Most of these questions are tough. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to think about it like chess, where I'm going to teach you just the finishing because it's going to get there. If you're only good at opening, you only get weaker over time because the opening has finished, right? So if we're good at the finish, hopefully we can get there. So if I had to teach one specific technique to a woman, it'd probably be the triangle choke because it's most applicable from the closed guard. Basically, I apologize, but missionary. You're on your back with someone between your legs. So if you can defend yourself from there, from one of the worst places you can be in, you can survive. I don't love saying this. It's very dark, but it's the reality of it. So if you learn to triangle choke where you're able, I'll just do it. You're able to put your leg over one shoulder, close that on their carotid artery, pivot, and then latch that to their head and arm. You can choke them unconscious, and you can also break their arm. Why not both? I always say. So that'd be my number one technique for the ladies. Great. Triangle. Learn the triangle. You can do it from mount. You can do it from side control. You can do it from any. Triangles are everywhere, but triangle from guard would be my number one tip for ladies. Last question for this first installment of No Violence Q&A from Josh Dobbin. Hey, my gym's on Dobbin Street. Okay. Do you sometimes feel terrible for liking quote unquote good violence as much as you do? Because even good/pleasing violence is still not the best thing to encourage, and the good to bad ratio is wildly off. Not a value judgment. This is the boat I'm also in because, man, I do love a good fight. Okay, a little clarification needs to be done. I don't consider mixed martial arts competition, jiu-jitsu competition, boxing, I don't consider that violence. I consider anything that's non-consensual violence. This is combat. There's a difference. Now, are the consequences basically the same? Kind of. You're still taking physical damage, you're still taking damage to your head, you're still causing possibly CTE. So I know that. But that's the differentiation I like to make in my mind because I do see it as a different thing. It's two consenting people, adults, testing their grit, testing themselves in one of the most physically difficult things possible. In my opinion, fighting is one of the most difficult things because there's a lot of sports that are skill-based. There's a lot of sports that require athleticism. Very few require athleticism and skill while being damaged physically. It's different. It's a different skill set. Do I feel bad about it? No, I don't feel bad about it. I just want to be clear that I don't think that combat sports, I don't think combat sports are for everyone. I think self-defense is for everyone. There's a difference. There's a ceiling of skill, I believe, that you can get to without sparring, without fighting. And I think that ceiling is fine for most people. I think, if I'm being honest, if you do 30 months of jiu-jitsu, I think you'll be fine for the rest of your life in terms of being able to defend yourself. I think that's all you really need to have a basic understanding of how to defend yourself. Now, if you do 30 months and then 15 years from now, someone attacks you, you're going to be rusty. And that's, a helpful part of doing jiu-jitsu for a long time or martial arts for a long time is you stay sharp. But I don't feel guilty about it. I think it's not for everyone. And I like that. I like that this is for a very specific type of person, that this is a difficult thing, that most people would never invest this much time and effort into something that's on the surface for most people stupid and unnecessary and silly. And I get that, but it's beautiful and so self-expressionary and so helpful. I don't like when people call martial arts or call jiu-jitsu therapy. I think that's a fucking huge red flag. But I do think it can be therapeutic. I think there's a line there. If you're doing martial arts, if you're doing any kind of combat sports and you feel at all guilty, just don't. Don't push it to that point. Don't fight or don't spar. You don't have to. This should be a thing that it can adjust to anyone's skill set or desire. I want this gym. I want people that come to my gym, that come to Williamsburg MMA to train under myself or my instructor, Roger Mamanoff. I want people that wouldn't normally walk into an MMA gym to walk in here. That's who I want to teach. Those are the people that need it the most and benefit from it the most. That's my goal, my idea. So there's 3 questions. I hope that answers the questions well enough. Maybe I'll make these longer or shorter. Who knows? But I just wanted to have a long format to get some ideas out. By all means, DM me any questions at any time. Make sure you watch No Violence. You get it. I appreciate it. Questions or comments, by all means, below, and I'll see you soon. Don't get got.